All right,
Yabba dabba doo.
we're back. I noticed I always like start the show with like hey, welcome back to the show. I feel like I don't know. I feel like there should be like I don't know what other podcasts do for their intros, but I feel like there's got to be something else.
You know, like the intro. It's kind of introducing us to them also, like just, like as a transition.
That's true, yeah, it is. I kind of used it as a way to let you know that we started recording too, because I didn't want to I didn't want to say like oh we're live or like we're recording. Like I felt like I needed to say something that indicated the start of the show.
Well, you know what they do in Hollywood, right?
Don't they usually like they cut out like they just edit out the like
The what?
when like the director's like, all right, we're good.
That is not what the director says. Well, they have the little thing, right? They clip this in front of the camera so then it's synced up the audio and the video. And
Has
then
the
they
scene
say,
on it, right?
yeah, this is this scene because it's already written out. And then they say like um, George Bush in the cafe with Mistress, take four, and then they cut it, and then once that clip, they hear the sound, and that's when it starts. Alternatively, they'll go, you know, in five, four, three, and then they don't say two or one, and they go, and then the show starts.
They do that in like I see, but they edit it out. Like the camera will already be on, and then they edit it out. So it's kind of like I don't want to have to. I mean, I guess I already do put it. I do put it in Premiere already. I could edit out the beginning.
Well, it's your call. I think it's fine the way it is.
Yeah, that's true. I guess. I mean, I don't know if like there's no one like watching it who would be upset if I changed the intro. I don't think there's anyone who's like passionately attached to the hey, welcome back to the show. It's such a simple like it's not even that complex. It's not even I don't know if like
Yeah.
maybe I'll make an intro, maybe some kind of like I don't know, little something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they have title sequences in a lot of podcasts.
So how have you been? How's how's your week been?
I'm just noticing that I don't have water, so I would like you
Oh.
to entertain the audience while I go get a cup of water.
Oh, I thought you meant your house didn't have water. Okay, you just don't have water right now in the moment. Okay.
No, this is called vamping. This is just like when you have like a free time available and you can just go ahead and, plug anything that you want to plug or like just share an opinion. Just keep talking.
Okay. Okay. I thought he didn't have water in his house. Like I thought like he said right like how am I doing right now this whole week? I haven't had water running in my house. I haven't had running water. I that's never actually happened to me. Well, other than like if they're doing, I think the one time they were doing like construction, like yeah, something on like the water pump, and they had to shut off the water, and so for like maybe like 4 hours we didn't have water, which kind of sucked, but not for like an extended period of time. That would be bad. That would be really bad. I'm drinking my tea too. It's called sweet and spicy. Sweet and spicy tea. I think I mentioned it last time. Sometimes I have the sweet and spicy. Sometimes I have the matcha. But you can buy it at I don't know. I stole it from my grandmother. I'm not even kidding. I did. I took it from her house. Sweet and spicy tea. Um, she offered it to me, so I'm not a criminal, but it's good. It's good. camera battery's flashing. I think that's what's in the right corner. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe I should start talking about my week. It's been a pretty normal week. Nothing bad has happened. A long time ago on the podcast, I think I mentioned that things keep breaking in my house. Nothing has broken in my house as of recently. I thought that like there was like some magical like presence. Well, I didn't actually believe this, but as a joke, I said there was like a magical presence just running around breaking all my things. But that has not happened as of recently. So that's good. You got water?
Yeah.
I think there's like in the top
Ooh,
right, your battery,
oh, it's
a
gonna
battery's
die. Yeah.
flashing.
Let me see about this.
But yeah, nothing's breaking in the house so far. Trying to think if anything is broken. Oh, you know what? I do have a story of what happened recently, and this is something that did break. So for the longest period of time, the apartment has been sending maintenance crews into this like apartment building as if it was like a mafia styled thing. They've just been sending them in. I'll actually wait to tell. I'll wait to tell you about this story. I figured I would because
Okay,
you
I'm
remember
listening.
how I mentioned that basically everything was like breaking in my house. It felt like, you know what I mean. There was a moment where I just
Oh
thought,
yeah.
yeah. Well,
I
that
was still
hasn't.
talking about this.
Well, yeah, but that I was mentioning that like it's good now. Like that problem's gone away because I was thinking about my week personally, and then I thought of this story that did happen. It happened a little while ago, but this was a periodic buildup, and it just got worse and worse and worse. And this is when we weren't doing the podcast for a little bit. The apartment would like send the maintenance team to our specific building as if they were like the mafia. They would send them periodically because they'd post a letter and they'd be like, water usage is like really high in this building. So we're sending the maintenance team to everyone's unit to check it out. We will have to enter at this time, and then you don't have any choice. They have to come in. Luckily, I had like class that quarter during those periods of time, but it got kind of annoying because they're like, oh, we want you to keep like, you felt like, you're like, oh, I got to make sure that I'm not here. And they'd change the time sometimes. They'd be like, oh, kind of a wide range. So you'd be like, I really hope, I don't want to come home and have there be a bunch of maintenance people in my house. And they do this. They did this periodically. And I was like, well, someone's using a lot of water in this building. I don't know who it is. It's not me. I'm good on water conservation. I know it's not me. Maybe there's a leak, but every single time they don't find a leak. And they've come into my apartment like 7 times now. There's no leak. Someone's obviously using a lot of water. And I think their idea was that, well, we're going to annoy the hell out of whoever is using a lot of water until they stop. And I thought that it was just the worst because it's like, it's almost like if you're in a class, like I felt like a child, like, and then the teacher punishes everyone because they're like, we don't know who did this. So we're going to punish everyone in this apartment building. And I was like, I'm an adult. I'm an adult. You can't like, you're treating me like as if I'm some kind of like kid, like, oh, we gotta get a punishment has to apply to everyone. I'm like, this is an apartment. You know what? You make enough on rent. They upped the rent the past year. I was like, get out of my face. I was like, this is my house. I pay for it. I pay too much for it. You know what? Eat the water bill, you bastards. Eat it. Don't come into my house. But anyways, eventually what they did is they were like, okay, we obviously have to check the outside. And then they posted a different note that said we're checking the building and the outside. And after that time, what do you know? There was a leak outside of the building. There was a leak. It wasn't inside of someone's apartment. And every single time, they were so convinced it has to be from someone in the apartment. No, it was outside. And then they just basically wasted extra money sending 7 times a crew into the apartment that didn't find anything. And then when they found it outside, it's like, you should have checked that the second time. When it wasn't in the apartments, where else do you think it's happening? I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it.
So try this rant, but instead of yourself, be like a cartoon, a cartoon character that
Cartoon
you
character.
you like.
Mm.
Could be like Squidward from SpongeBob, or
It's kind
mm,
of like a. And I can't
when he,
believe they've come into my house.
yeah, but he has more of like that relaxed anger. We don't see as many outbursts from him. It's kind of just like a general discontent with what's happening, you know? So just try that rant as Squidward.
Okay, it has to be calmer. I think there's no way. It's like they've come into my house and they've said there was a leak, but we live under the ocean. I don't know. That's a bad Squidward. I haven't seen SpongeBob in a long time.
That was a good reference though. Now
Yeah,
I'm
because
dead.
they do. I mean, if someone checked for a leak in my house and I lived under the ocean, I'd be even more upset than I am now. But
Because it is coming from outside.
yeah, yeah. And most
Especially if you're
definitely a leak has occurred on multiple angles.
all right, now I'm tiny.
Got the wide frame.
Uh, I
It's
don't know
great.
what happened because when we were doing Not Your Cousin's podcast, the uh, those dummy batteries worked, and then once we moved out of the van, they stopped working for me in the house,
Hmm.
and I thought that my cameras were broken. So then I've just been going off battery power.
That's so weird. I like I have one and it does work. But what I did is I remember we were using USB connectors into the van directly, right?
Yeah, yeah,
This one came with like a converter that directly plugs into the wall. Maybe it's like a safety feature where they think it's too much power.
yeah, maybe. Yeah. Um, it usually works. This is the first time I've even got my camera out since I moved. So I didn't charge my batteries, but I can charge my batteries because
All
they
right.
last for a couple hours.
True, true.
I know we used it when we did the in-person podcast. We used batteries and it was fine.
Definitely, definitely. It's
That just reminds me. That just reminds me of like so like I jerry rigged this thing up and I have my camera that I was just using with its screen flipped out, and then I have my webcam sitting over the screen. And that just goes to show that there's like this ingenuity that's required. And you know that one song, you know Lonely Island from SNL?
yeah, yeah, huh?
Like they do I'm on a boat and shit. Anyway, they have one song called Throw It on the Ground. Um, and in the chorus of the song is basically I threw it on the ground. I won't be part of the system. It's basically just like this rebellious thing where like no matter what anyone says, they say basically fuck you and they throw it on the ground. Uh, yeah, that just reminded me because like the system didn't want me to have a webcam today, but
You
I
prevailed.
prevailed. Yeah. I threw it on the ground.
That was like oh, was that what year was that? That was so long ago.
Yeah, like
I'm having
2008 maybe.
flashbacks.
Well, it's like one of the lines is like, and she hands me a cell phone, and she says it's my dad. That's not my dad. That's a cell phone, and I threw it on the ground. I won't be a part of the system.
It's getting like it's getting cold over here. I just
Yeah.
noticed I woke up today and like My computer has like this strange like warning on the bottom sometimes of the screen. It doesn't have it anymore, and I don't even know if it's in the, oh, it is in the recording. Well, right now it just says heavy rain outside, but before it said like freeze warning. And I was like, "What?
Mm.
This is we're in October."
Freeze warning. Um, I got a question for you. Is there a reason that you framed yourself on the left side of the picture?
No, it just kind of I guess it just kind of naturally happened. When I repositioned the camera, I guess it just showed up like this, and this is kind of like the place where I usually sit at my desk. The problem is if I go any further this way, I'm almost off the table, but I can turn the camera to make this more centered too. That's another option. I could try to like turn it a little bit.
Yeah, you should, especially, I don't know which side you're on the recording, but like for me, I'm here in the center and then you're like way over here on the side.
Let me see if like let me see if this looks any better.
I won't be a part of the system.
You kind of get my computer a little bit in there. But I think that's
Yeah, that's
okay.
worse.
That's worse?
That's worse.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I guess maybe next time I could do a little how about that?
I mean, it's fine.
Is a little bit of better, you know, a little just a little improvement, you know?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Happy birthday to the ground.
Ah. I could just throw. All these wires keep reminding me I need to get like what you've got there, an actual mic arm rather than just this little stage holder.
I don't have a mic arm.
No?
No. It's this.
Oh, you're using the same thing that I have then. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You had one before, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why'd you switch?
What do you think it's better? What do you think is better, dude?
I think
What
so.
are you discriminating or something? Do you have prejudice?
I think I might. After years of using this, I think an arm mic is better. I think you can reposition it. You can the wires are easier to funnel in. Plus, I can't keep this in my space. Whenever I'm done using this, I have to put it away. I have to put the wires away, and I'm like, I just want it to be like there. I want to tuck it to the side, so I don't have to and then I can just bring it back out, and then I never have to do it again. You know? That is,
Yeah.
yeah.
We should get one then. Because here's what I ran into. If I'm only using the computer and I'm only recording vocals, boom, it's so good. You can put it exactly where you want it. But like as soon as you want to start to record like an acoustic guitar, the way the mic arm works is you can't get the microphone to go below the level of the tabletop or the desktop. So if you want it to go lower, if you're sitting in a chair and you want the mic to go, open to where the body of the guitar is, you can't always, it's not as flexible moving around the room.
I didn't think about that.
And for that reason, I had to put my mic on the ground.
On the ground. That is a good point.
And throw it on the ground.
You didn't throw. Yeah, you wouldn't want to. That'd be damaging. That is a good point. I didn't think about that. Maybe I could have like a second aux cord. I'm trying to think.
Second mic cable, you mean?
Yeah, mic cable. Yeah, a second mic cable. And maybe I could just unplug it and then take the mic out of the mic arm and then put it into the stand and rewire it that way, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, the interface I have has 4 inputs, so I couldn't do that. But then, dude, you have 2 different mics that you can hook up, and then all of a sudden now you don't know which one to use,
True.
Oh, do I get this one? Do I get the mic arm out that's connected to the desk? because I want to be recording vocals, and then all of a sudden now I'm like, oh, I have this inspiration to go use the guitar now. Shit. Now I have to unfold this fucking shit and put it on the ground and then plug this shit into it.
See, I think the problem
Instead
is
of just adjusting it right where it is.
I already feel that way about this sometimes because I have to put it back. Like I think the thing is that like my space, like it's so small. Like I'm in this little corner, right? This is like the creativity. This, like I said last episode, this is the everything corner. This is like everything happens just in this corner of the house.
Yeah.
And so
yeah.
I have to like I can't keep this around because if I want to do like homework or other activities, this has to go. So I put it in the back, and then whenever I want to, I have to take it out. I have to replug in the mic, and it's. I think more so though I would have to do that anyways, but at the same time now I have a second mic arm taking up more space.
Exactly.
Whenever I try to bring this in, I don't know. Maybe it would be bad. It could be.
Well, in most cases, you wouldn't need that floor one.
True.
You would just use the other one.
I might consider it. I might.
So I heard there's this one comedian. His name is Tom Segura. Have you heard of him before?
I have.
So I heard him ask Bobby Lee. Do you know who Bobby Lee is?
Yeah. From
Yeah, you
Tiger
must.
Belly podcast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Tom Segura, a white guy, asked Bobby Lee, an Asian guy. He's Korean, but he said, does Ching Chong really not mean anything? And that's funny because that's what everyone in America's said like 8 years ago, you know? But I learned today that, I'm in a Chinese school where I'm learning a lot of Chinese words, and both Ching and Chong do mean something. Okay? They do mean stuff.
Interesting.
Should we ask the audience if they want me to say what they mean?
Yeah. You should say
what
what
do you
it means.
guys
I was
think?
waiting. I want to know. I want to hear at least what it means.
Say it. Okay, so I don't know as much about Ching. Starting out, the Ching is a lot of the pronunciations. There's a lot of different ways to spell it in English. Like, you've heard of Tai Chi before, right? Tai Chi. It's like
I thought that was like I thought that was like a it's gonna sound crazy, but like a fighting thing. Like Tai Chi was like kind of like a
yeah, it's a martial art.
yeah, right.
Yeah, it's a more of a subtle one. There's also one called Bagua, which is a little bit more intense. There's like Taekwondo and stuff. That's like punching and kicking stuff. Tai Chi is more like slow movements that like would train you. Like if you got into fights, you would have this muscle memory and you might be able to use it. But anyway, in America, it's Tai Chi. Okay? You hear the way that I said that? But in Chinese, it's Tai Chi. So Tai Chi. So you can spell it Taichi like the American spelling, but you can also spell the chi part with a J, Ji, Tai Chi. So Ching might, in another pronunciation, might be like Xing. I've heard a lot of Xings. So that means something. And Chong is a really big one in Chinese medicine. There's this tell me every single thing you know about Chinese medicine.
Oh, you know what? I have something. I have a Chinese tea that so there's a story behind this. Back when my mom was teaching, This lady who had her kid at this school, she had this tea, this Chinese tea, and she gave it to my mom, and she was like, she gave her a ton of it, and was like, this is like, she swore by it, and she said, I swear, whenever you're sick, drink this tea. It is like, she said, she drinks it until she's back to good health. It always happens really quickly. It's great stuff, right? So my mom has this tea, and I tried it one time when I was sick, when I thought I was starting to feel sick, and I felt so much better the next day. I was like, I don't know, this tea, it's there's some good nutrients or something in this thing. So I ended up like even taking it with me after I moved out and went up here to go study. So I have this tea with me, and yeah, it's a Chinese tea, and it's
Mm.
and I think I googled it or something, and yeah, you're supposed to drink it whenever you're feeling sick. Like there's a ton of different like good stuff in there, and so whenever you think you're getting sick,
Can you go
it's
get it and read the ingredients?
yeah. Well, they're all in Chinese. It's really like it comes from China. Let me go show you.
Wait, okay. Yeah, yeah, I want to see. I think it's so funny when he just goes on a rant.
See,
If we get him
I'm
excited
running a
about
bit
something,
low
it's
on
just
it.
so good.
I'm a little bit concerned actually, because
Okay,
what am
and
I
by
gonna
the
do
way,
without my
low
tea?
is something in Chinese too.
Like the lo mein.
Yeah, that's LO, but then there's like LUO also. LOU. Can you open one of the show me what it can come? It's not focused.
It's it's not a it's a powder, so it's not even in a tea bag. You dump this into the water, and it
Oh, okay. What
dissolves.
color is it? What color?
It's brown,
Mm.
and it tastes very bad. It tastes bad, bad. Like it tastes like dirt. I'm not even kidding. It tastes like dirt. What you do is you put a little bit of honey in it, and it makes it better.
Yeah, those are Chinese herbs. I'm taking a giant, incredible, several hundred hour curriculum on Chinese herbs over the next couple years. So I'll know what's in there soon.
That's awesome. I will bring that to you, because that for a while now has been like a go-to when I get like when I start like I'm feeling kind of sick. I just right into the water. And sometimes I don't think like sometimes I think like I'm like, oh, I don't know if I feel that much better the next day, but sometimes when I take it, I'm like, whoa. Like I don't think I think I feel great. I feel better today. Like I feel good today. Sometimes it I feel like it has in the past diverted a sickness like approach. You know, like I was about to get
Mm.
sick and I was like, no, 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 the tea. And I drank the tea, and then phew, different path chosen immediately.
Yeah, I was just talking to someone recently about how many different meanings tea has now these days. You know,
Yeah.
people say, "Give me the tea,"
Oh
and
yeah,
then
like
people,
drama tea. Yeah.
or just what people are thinking. Um, but also means T for testosterone, which
Yeah.
is a heavily um, people talk about it. People are talking about it,
Say,
and
hey bro,
T
you got low
also.
T. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, low T. Yeah. So anyway, the Chong is something I'm not gonna be able to explain to you, but basically, there's these meridians in Chinese medicine. There's 12 of them. You probably heard of yin and yang before, like light and darkness, and like hot and cold, and um, stable versus movement. Like the the two sides of balance. Uh, Basically, there's these 12 channels in the body. Six of them are yin, six of them are yang, and then there's this Chong thing, which kind of like goes down the center of all of those, the six sides, like the chong's going right down the middle, and it kind of like is balanced. It balances and houses yin and yang. So that's the chong. I don't know much about the ching part, but
But the
so,
Chong.
so that didn't mean anything to you, or you
um,
just don't have a comment, or
no, no, it's interesting. I don't know, like, I don't know. I don't think like it's anything I could. Just as the information stands, I don't know if I could apply it anywhere yet.
that's what everybody in every single one of my classes, like every week, that's what people say.
I'm sure that comes later though. I'm sure what they're doing is they're giving you like a lot of like information so that when they start getting into the heavier stuff, then like, you've got the pretext.
Yeah, sort of. I think this is a journey of self-discovery and of developing your own point of view, and it's kind of like a language set that you can use to think um, in new ways beyond like the way you've culturally been raised to think. And so I don't think that they, at a certain point, are really like, now we're getting into the deep stuff. It's we're going to give you like these basic language pieces so that you can start to think using these terms. And then once you can think using these terms, then you can have conversations using those terms with other people using those terms, and you can like have dialogue about it. But I don't think that it's really about dude, it's an infinite well of knowledge to be found.
A little bit of a philosophy in there too, then,
Oh,
right?
hell yeah. Hell
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Ching chong.
I hope it doesn't freeze tonight.
You mean like outside?
Yeah, yeah, because it said like the freezing warning. It's ominous sometimes too. It does like sometimes like right now it says heavy rain, but then it will say like rain coming. It just says rain coming, and
Is that just on your computer screen?
yeah, yeah, it constantly tells me if I need.
Why are you looking at that?
Well, because it just is there. It's just there. So sometimes I'm like, I think it is a bad feature. Like I'm willing to say that. I think it's bad because I will look down at it and it'll be like wind coming, rain coming, heat coming, and I'm like, God, please leave me alone. Like, making me, and then I realized it's like heat coming is like 80 degrees or something. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of coming, um, semen is a incredibly young um, part of the body, fluid, um, because it is highly movable and it is creative, and so um, that's also the male aspect. It's a um, going and springing forth. But what I really want to convey to you about Chinese medicine is some important points on the hands and wrist that I'd like to do an experiment with. Are you open to that?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So the first one is on the little finger on the side of where all the other uh, fingers are, just on the corner of your nail.
Am I supposed to follow you
Right.
along here?
Yeah, just press on it.
Okay.
Just press on that area and see what you're feeling. Some of these might be a little bit of tender points.
On the
Do you feel
corner of
something
the
there?
nail.
Yeah.
Uh,
Let me see. Let me see if I can pull up some imagery.
I don't know if anything out of the ordinary, but
Okay, so how about this? Um, the how about this? If you make a soft fist with your hand, right where your pinky touches your palm, if
hmm?
you just if you push right in there and you push into right in between the two bones with your thumb, push in there.
Okay, yeah.
You feel something in there?
Um, uh, it's like, yeah. So I think it's like, it feels like more. How would I describe it? Just like more tender, I guess, than the rest of your hand. Like
Yeah.
there's bone everywhere else. Yeah, it feels like that's like there's like a gap kind of there.
So like if you hold down on there, press harder than that.
All right.
So this
Wait,
is
am I doing
called
this right?
heart. This is called heart 8. Okay?
Heart 8. Okay.
There's a heart channel that originates from your armpit and it goes down the inside of your arm and the second to last point right here is on your palm. It's heart 8.
Huh.
Okay? You feeling that in there?
I think so.
Okay. So this is cool. So this point has systemic effects on all of your hand and your arm, and your chest. So like I've been just practicing like touching on these points, and then all of a sudden like my mood will shift, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Because all I'm doing is I'm looking at these diagrams and I'm just like pressing these points, and it's feeling weird, dude. So let me show you. Okay, so there's this heart channel. Can you see this?
Um. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see that.
Uh, okay, so the
Are
one
those
you
the
just
different points? The different like
the little orange ones, yeah. So we just did this one. Now let's do um this isn't on the heart channel, but this is on the pericardium channel. So do that same thing with your fist
yeah.
and then see right where your middle finger touches.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. Okay.
And
Yeah.
then
See,
there should
but it's
be,
not like a gap. It's like is it supposed to be a gap?
yeah, you should push until you feel like there's two bones going up right here in your hand. And
Yeah.
it should be right in between those two bones.
Maybe I have a weirdly sized hand.
You
I
don't feel
think
a
I
gap there?
think I think I feel the gap, but I could be wrong too. I think that
Press more with like the end of your thumb instead of like the broad part of your thumb.
I think that's the gap. I can't.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't tell though. Think.
This is pericardium 8.
Okay.
Okay. So there's this sac, protective sac that surrounds the heart, and that's called the pericardium. And it's so special that it has its own channel because there's only 12 channels, okay? And the pericardium is considered an organ. Um, so we have heart 8 and we have pericardium 8. And then let's see if we can find one last one. Um, on your bicep, this this is on the lung channel. So, oh my God. Did you hear that?
I did. Yeah. Sound like a little squeaky.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so on your bicep, um, if you put your hand kind of like in the crease and you flex your arm up and down, you should feel like some like ropey feeling things. Those are your
Yeah.
tendons from your bicep. You feel that?
Yeah.
Okay, so put your fingers right on that,
All right.
and then just kind of roll it over towards the outside. That's the inside. And then when you press in there, kind of on your forearm, there should be a pretty tender spot right in there. So just feel around for it. You should know when you feel it.
Um.
You might
It all feels so
have to
stiff.
push harder than that. You might have to push harder.
Maybe that's it. I guess that feels the most tender. It's like, yeah, because on the other side it feels like stiff. This I think is the most tender part.
Yeah, so that's what is that? I think that's lung 5.
Lung 5.
Okay.
Huh.
So basically what all this is remember I was talking about the Chong and there's the 12 channels underneath the Chong. So all of the organs have their own channel. Okay, and there's 12 organs in the body that they're counting. So we just went over there's 3 channels, 3 of the channels of the hand we just went over. So we went over the heart, we went over the pericardium and the lung. So you can imagine there's 361 points all over the body, and we just learned 3 of them. So yeah, ask me a question.
Let's see. You mentioned just like every day you find them, right? And you push on the pressure points and you feel like it helps you. Is it like what do you think is like the workings behind that? Cuz I know like pressure points and like who am I thinking who uses that? Massage therapists, right? Like they often use like pressure points, right, to like relieve stress and tension and things like that. Do you think there's like there's something where doing that every day kind of like it's releasing, you know?
Yeah. I think in the school they're trying to get away from, they call it the biomedical language, but basically like what people are learning in medical schools, um, in many ways is like beyond anything that I'm going to be learning in terms of specificity. But because there's this incredible lineage and history behind the Chinese medicine that I'm learning about, which is at a minimum like a couple thousand years old, um, there's a lot more theory behind what each individual point, where it is. They're specific to every single person, and each single individual point has specific physiological effects on the body. So like we just did stomach 5, right?
Yeah. Wait,
No,
that
I'm
was lung.
sorry. It was lung 5. Yeah, thank you.
Lung.
Um, so
I
we
feel
can
like a
see.
good I like if you were teaching a class right now, I feel like I'd be like the one who's like
Yeah, you're a good student. So this is the one. This is the one we just did, right? Okay. This
Yeah,
is this is lung 5,
lung 5,
and
okay.
the description is on the cubital crease, which is the elbow crease, in the depression on the radial side of the biceps brachii tendon. And I know what all that means, but basically it means just go exactly to the right of that ropey thing. And so it's so interesting. So they'll tell you things like this point helps with uh, cough, asthma, wheezing, shortness of breath, vomiting, diarrhea, swelling of the limbs. And every single one of these hundreds of points has its individual point functions. So
Interesting. Okay.
that's what I'm spending an incredible amount of time learning is what does each one of these individual points do? Right now I'm just poking them and I'm feeling different, but like the whole point is to know what they do philosophically.
Yeah. Okay.
And they did this, dude, they did this for so long.
That's so fascinating, especially like how old it is. Like Man, that 1,000, like 1,000 years. That's like that's insane.
Well, like a
It's insane
thousand
that
years
they.
ago, they were in the thick of it. They had like herbal pharmacies and they had regulations on the acupuncture and all this kind of stuff. That was just in like the year 1000, but they were practicing in the BC times as well.
It's crazy how much knowledge they had over like even like knowing like points in the body. You know what I mean? Like knowing
What do you
different,
mean?
like knowing like even like a base amount of like anatomy. You know what I mean? Is that's cool. You know, especially so long ago.
Yeah, dude, they've been cutting dead people open for as long as people have been alive.
Yeah, but it's crazy because I think like in like not that it was like delayed necessarily in Europe, but when they first started like recording it and started like dissecting people, like it was a big deal, but that happened so much later. You know what I mean? And it's crazy that like there's knowledge that like just we're in certain parts of the world that just knowledge spreads at different paces. It's just interesting, fascinating.
Yeah, I will argue that this is science in and of itself, but um, I think it was derived in a way uh, that is not similar to what you're saying that maybe happened um, in Europe and like I don't know. They were using the scientific method when they were doing these dissections and they were learning all this stuff. I think it's this kind of information may have come from dissections, but I think it's a lot of like trial and error and a lot of like people going into deep contemplation and meditative states and you know having cross-referencing subjective experiences with one another and yeah, more or less just having it run experiments and a discovery through intersubjectivity.
Damn. I'd like to try that, the pressure points. You said you were doing it every day.
Well, because so I'm learning the points, right? So like I showed you heart 8 is right here, and I know heart 9 is this one in the corner of the nail, the radial side of the corner of the nail bed, and then heart 7 is just distal to the pisiform bone, and then you got 7, 6, 5, 4, and then you go all the way up to 3, um, and 2 and 1. And so in order to like I'm referencing the diagrams, but then I'm like feeling around on my arm to feel where like, oh that oh shit, that dude, when I touch lung 6 and I move my arm around like this, I'm like, holy shit, dude. I would it would take me forever to find this point if I was just like a massage therapist thinking like, oh, he's got some forearm stiffness, I gotta feel around for like some points that like might be sore. I just look at the diagram and then I go just find here's what it is. Lung 6. Fuck. Ow. And I'm pushing kind of
Huh.
hard. And I'm like, damn, dude, this is like hurting me, you know? But it's like I'm feeling it in my whole body. You know?
But wait, but if it's hurting you, are you pressing like too hard? Maybe it's like
Well, it's like it's like I can feel it letting go, you know? That's what it really feels like. I'm like, shit, dude, like something's in here that I'm letting go of. Lung 6. So I have this app, dude, and I can go to any point. So let's see. Lung 6. Uh so here's lung 6 on the forearm. And is this interesting?
Yeah, yeah. I'm interested. I
Okay.
don't know about like, but I'm interested in hearing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So lung 6, um, this is a special point category. Okay, so we have the points, right? We've talked about this 361 points and 12 channels, but there are points on certain channels that are like grouped together. So like there's points on uh, the lung channel and the heart channel that are in the same category. Okay. So one of the categories is called the She cleft point. Okay. Spelled XI, but pronounced she. It's hard to tell. But anyway, these She cleft points are helpful for acute conditions. Okay.
Mm.
So that doesn't mean that if I press here and I'm feeling something that I have an acute condition. It's just something that we want to consider. Um, but you might find this interesting. So the actions of this one is called uh, clear, heat, and moisten the lung. Okay.
Moisten the lung.
Yeah. Clear, heat, and stop bleeding. And this one is interesting. Disseminates and descends lung chi.
Lung chi.
Yeah.
You know, if you didn't explain them further, I would immediately think like with the hot and stop bleeding, I would imagine like someone like like you know like they took the hot blade and then to like seal it, and then like the lung chi, I'm imagining like a fungus. It sounds like some kind of like it's a chi in there.
Lung chi.
Yeah, some lung
Yeah,
chi
like
is in there.
cheese is a fungus, is a mold.
Yeah, yeah, like a little mold
Um,
cheese in there and
you know what
there.
you know what chi is though, right?
Chi. No, I don't think I do. Unless like,
So it's the chi that's in Tai Chi that we talked about already,
oh,
and the chi in Qi Gong.
okay, yeah.
So you still don't know what it is?
I mean, I remember you explaining what like Tai Chi was, and it was like a movement of like it was a martial art, but not like a fighting style. It was more so a movement thing and cognitively practicing that. I think.
Yeah. So the in China, in Chinese thought, uh, classically at least, chi is everything. Okay. In Taoism, the Tao is everything. Okay. It's chi is everything. But more specifically, when we're talking about this stuff, it's kind of like the flow of energy within our body system. That's what the chi is talking about. So like what the lung does, it like brings in chi from the outside, brings in the energy, and then it gets converted into like a wet something that our body can use. And so that's what the lung chi is like the chi, the energy that the lung governs. So it disseminates the lung chi, meaning if the lung chi was gathered in the lungs and it may not have been like being sent to the locations that we wanted it to be sent to, that it would disseminate that chi and it would get it to where it needs to go.
Spreading the chi.
Yeah. Lung 6.
I see you got like it looks dark in there. You got like you got some curtains up. You kind of got like a controlled environment for the lighting.
Yeah, it was light out earlier and it was getting washed out
Mm.
um because of because outside, yeah.
Yeah, I keep forgetting. It's so crazy that you still have light there. It is pitch black outside right now for me. It is dark, heavy rain.
Wind coming.
Yeah, wind coming. I I just, I don't know why they have to put it like that to like stress you out, like wind coming. Like I just imagine like there's like beep meep 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 in my house, and I'm like, oh god. Actually, it's just 2 mile per hour wind. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, you know what I was gonna do? While we were doing the podcast, I was gonna quickly. I had it up on my phone. I was gonna make a quick Thai food order. I even had
Okay.
it pulled up because I realized like it's a little bit late for food, and so if I just time it right, it'll be good.
For like pickup, or are you getting it delivered?
I'm getting it delivered. Yeah, I figured that way it would just show up like by the time around the podcast would end.
Nice. I'm glad you remembered.
No, delivery's busy right now. All right, well. I
Oh,
guess
they
I'll
can't do it?
Yeah, I guess they can't. I guess like it just
What is this? Uber Eats?
no. This is it's Grubhub.
Uh,
With Snoop Dogg, who like
I
did
thought
like a commercial like for him. I don't know. It's not why I use it. The commercial happened. I just want to make it clear. The commercial happened after I started using it. It's not like I saw him like singing the Grubhub song and I was like, I got to get this app. That didn't happen. But it doesn't even work. So I mean like
you have
doesn't
to order
exactly
something
make him
else.
look that good.
You're gonna have to order something else.
I think I might. Maybe I'll try. I have Uber Eats on here too, but Grubhub is always the cheapest. It always is like the. That's what I've
Oh,
noticed. This is a
delivery
tip.
throughout all of Grubhub is off?
Is
Not just the
I don't know. It said that like I think they're too busy. I think it just. I don't think it's possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they shut down everything because they heard like wind coming, and they were like, oh, this is gonna be a dangerous one. That's so weird. It's like everything is paused. Delivery's paused on everything. That's crazy. Yeah. It just says delivery paused on everything. I think like
Oh shit.
wind really scared him.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
I might just make something. I just didn't want to cook because then like I have to like wait longer like after we end, and then I have to like like cook something up. But I can cook up something. I have like some stuff in there.
You don't want to disclose what's in there.
I mean, I
You know, like,
have
I
like
got some stuff in there.
some stuff in there. You don't want to know what I put in my fridge. I've got like some pot stickers, some like I don't want to go through the whole like list of things. I think there's like some Impossible Burger patties in there. There's a range of stuff, but I can make a sandwich, but that doesn't like for dinner. That's like I don't know. Like I know some people are like, oh yeah, sandwich for dinner. No, this is lunchtime food.
Well, if you make like a panini, or you make like if you like have oil on the bread and you fry it, like that could be dinner.
Yeah, I could see that maybe with like a side soup. So, yeah, I feel like if you have like a panini, it's like I have this desire to have like some tomato soup or maybe just some soup, to dip it in.
Yeah. 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 Your Honor, I rest my case.
I'm guilty of soup.
Well, no, because those are closing arguments because we were in court, and now the judge is gonna rule if you need to have soup if it's a panini.
You should. You should. If you can't, I mean, like I'll admit it. I've had a panini without soup on many occasions, but if there's soup around, I'm heating some up.
Your Honor, he's just twisting my words around against me. This is not appropriate. There's no precedent. I am making a motion for this case to be dismissed.
But sir, I don't think you understand. I think there should be a clause, an understanding, if you will, that if there is soup around and a panini is being cooked, that soup must be cooked. If the soup
It's like-
isn't cooked, you must acquit.
As long as it's not Santa Claus, then that's fine with me.
Santa Claus.
Because you said there had to be a clause. I think
Ah,
if you write that up, I'll sign I'll sign it.
I'll write it up. I'll make a write up and I'll send it right over.
So we're
Soup
we're gonna
clause.
settle then.
Yeah, this is a settlement. Yeah, yeah. Only like if soup's around. If you don't have soup in the pantry, like I wouldn't want someone to come after someone and being like, "Where's the soup?" And they'd be like, "I didn't buy any." It's like, you know,
But there has to be a subheading within soup where you rule out some soups because not all soups are the same when we're talking about paninis. Who said
that's
that?
true. It's true. What?
I think that was Michael Vick. I think he said not all soups are the same when we're talking about paninis.
Hmm.
And please get your cameras out of here when the dogs are fighting. I think that was the full quote.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I would say like with a grilled cheese tomato soup is like that's kind of.
Then why
it's
even
kind of
call it
weird.
why even call it a soup? Why just call it why just say tomato soup?
Mm. Well,
What
because
okay, you have
sometimes.
a grilled cheese and then you got split pea soup?
Oh no,
Fucking no.
no. But like maybe like if you had like a grilled cheese and maybe like a minestrone. Now we're getting somewhere. Maybe that minestrone, but it's like all right. This works. Maybe you have
Well,
like
there's
a black
tomatoes
bean
in there.
soup.
Black pea soup and
Black
what kind
bean
like
soup.
maybe if you have a turkey panini, that will work well with the black bean soup.
Yeah, yeah. There's like this like I don't know who makes it, but there's a black bean soup, and I know some people at home might say black bean soup. What are you doing? Putting beans in a can? No, I promise that's not what it is. It's actually a soup. It's got black beans in it, and it's got like other good stuff, some potato, some all sorts of different stuff in the soup, and it's good. It's good soup. Oh, quesadilla. Oh, that would be prime for the black soup. Black bean soup.
That's a different case altogether. Changing from bread to a tortilla, the ratio is forever changed. Now you're just talking about mostly cheese and what kind of semi-liquid substance goes with that.
I mean, if you crisp it up, you crisp up that quesadilla nice and good, and then you dip it in the black bean soup. Oh, that can be good.
I think it's missing the element of what we love about the tomato soup, the acidity. We love how it's cutting and tangy the tomato is. And I think perhaps in the black bean soup, we may be missing that because it's much more of a dull and what would I say? Yeah, it's a duller flavor. Black beans.
Might be a little bit dull. You might be onto something there. It might be a little bit dull, but I'm telling you, there is some quality about this soup that goes very well with like a sandwich too. It does it's good, especially
Okay.
like I just thought about it a quesadilla.
But you don't think a hot dog is a sandwich. You better not.
I mean, there could be some there could be some arguments to be made about the hot dog being a sandwich. I'm not saying I'm completely on the sandwich crew side of this whole thing, but there might be some things that warrant it. I mean, if you think about it, what happens if you put a turkey in that hot dog? Got a hoagie.
That's you're gonna have to have a big hot dog bun to fit a whole turkey in there.
I mean, any Anything's possible if you put it in a food processor.
Yeah, hoagie is a it's a they sell that separately. It's the same shape, different consistency.
Yeah. But have you ever been in like a state of turmoil where you use a hot dog bun as a sandwich bun?
Excuse me, did you just ask me if I've been in a state of turmoil over making some lunch item?
Yeah. I I've I've been to a place where sometimes you look and you say, "Well, what can I make here?" And you have the hot dog buns, and you have some deli meat, and you have some cheese, and you have some lettuce, and you have the sauces, and you're like, I have to do what I got to do, and you slap
Well,
together a concoction.
do you freak out though? Because that's what it made it sound like when you said turmoil. I'm just like, oh, this is what I'm gonna eat this. This is gonna be great. But to like have mental anguish over using this, um, this might be a microcosm of more pressing issues.
It could be. I think that sometimes it just happens though. You look in the fridge and you're just like, oh God, no. You know, and you start thinking because you're like all the different like possibilities are like you're calculating in your head about like what trajectory the food is going to take. And you're like, I'm not just gonna eat deli meat and cheese. I gotta have a sandwich. And so when you're looking, and then it kind of like you find the hot dog buns, and it makes it better because you know you have like some sort of vehicle for the cheese and the meat and the lettuce and the whatever else you're putting on the sandwich. You feel better then, but you're still like there's a little bit of residual turmoil left over because you know you're using a hot dog bun.
Well, no, I think you made my point a little bit by saying how much of a relief it is to find the vehicle. And the turmoil was only in that you did not have any vehicle for your meat and cheese, to not have the proper macronutrient ratio. I think once you find the vehicle, what sort of anguish, residual anguish could there be?
I mean, the fact that you have to use a hot dog bun. That
Well, why
that's
do you,
where
okay, but hold on. Why do you even have a hot dog bun in the first place?
I actually don't
You
know.
buy you buy hot dog buns the same quantity as you're going to consume in the day.
True. Well,
Cuz
unless some
you don't
people,
fucking grill hot dogs, dude. I mean, you shouldn't even have those.
yeah. Well, some people I guess keep hot dog buns in the fridge if they like just had like an event and then they just have these hot dog buns left over. But that's where I think that's happened. This was back when I was like living at home. I don't really buy hot dog buns that often anymore. I don't have a grill here. It just doesn't. I don't know. Some people boil them. They're like boil them in water. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna boil
Boil
the
hot
hot dog.
dog buns in water?
No, no, the hot dog itself. You boil them in
Uh,
water. I think
oh.
it's like they do that in some East Coast state where it's like the classic like boiled dog, and they like put it in. And
Yeah,
I
I
like
do
it
that and then
grilled.
fry it a little bit
Okay, I can see that.
because the
Boiled and
outer
fried.
texture is so important to me at least.
I agree. It's got to be like have a little bit of like a cook on the outside. I can't just have it boiled. No. But anyways, you have these hot dog buns, and like it can happen. It can happen where you have them in the house, and you have to use them for a sandwich, and ruins your whole day, whole week.
Uh, um, I was gonna ask, oh, how do I find the freaking show on YouTube? Because it's so, the algorithm.
That is the problem. We chose a name that I think like isn't very distinct, so I don't actually know. I don't know because
What's
I
the
just
name of one of
log
the
in.
episodes?
Oh, let's see. One of them was like, was it like, hey, this guy's bad or something? Like, there was
Oh
there was one
God.
where it was like, where it was the guy who, oh, what was it? It was the guy who he was a director, and he stole the
Oh.
name the show. I mean, probably he's partially responsible for our plight because he popularized something else that was the show. But
Oh God. Maybe we should change the name.
maybe we could. Um, what is the name of a distinct episode? Like, you could type in.
Can't you look at the channel?
Actually, yeah, I can. I just want to make sure I don't pull it up on. Oh wait, there we go. Yeah, I think that means. Let me just double check. I don't want to be recording my screen here.
Oh, I actually can log in too, so you don't need to worry about it.
Oh, okay, that's good. That's good.
Um,
What do you think? Should
let's
we
see.
should we end the episode here? Then we can go and track down the channel. They don't need to see this. This is a secret. This is like when like it's an actual like meeting. Like the audience isn't a part of deciding the name. I mean, maybe they could, but I mean they can't even say anything. It's
Well, if we offended any of you and you comment, then maybe we could talk to you about it. Because we do have the capacity to give people the message. So we know that, dude.
let us know what you think the podcast name should be.
Fuck you.
Yeah, never mind.
That's how you no, that's how you get them to comment.
Try to rile them up a little bit. That's a stupid idea for a name.
Yeah, fuck you.
All right.
All right. See ya, guys.
See ya.